kind of with a heavy heart that it's finally time to get rid of my old Ranger. I had been using this thing pretty much as storage. You know, that's what so many people do with old vehicles on their property, one way or another. They just become storage units for things. And I had all these bags in the back of the box here, just kind of out of the weather. Well, not really out of the weather, but off the ground. What I'm going to have to do to this thing before I allow my dad to go ahead and get rid of it, so I'm going to pull the box back off. It's just sitting on the frame right now. But I'm going to pull that off, and we're going to keep that. I'm going to keep the exhaust, which has a Flowmaster 10 series muffler on it, as well as the catalytic converters, provided I could get to them. And then I'm going to actually, I say this, but I'm going to pull the transmission out of this thing. I'm not worried about doing the job. I'm worried about the Black Widow fuckfest that's down here, because there are webs and spider eggs all over everything, and I know they're Black Widow webs because of how sticky they are. In fact, you guys can kind of see an egg right there. Just moving around. So this is going to be the fun part, boys. I'm not worried about doing the actual job. I'm worried about the spiders that I'm going to encounter. So that said, what I'm going to have to end up doing, we'll get out of the wind, but we're not expecting any rain for a while. And so I'm just going to go ahead and pull the tarp off, and then I'm going to attempt to pull that bed off myself. It actually doesn't weigh all that much, so I'm probably just going to tip it over on its side like that, just kind of get it out of the way. Then I'm going to pull the tarp off. I might go on a spider hunting mission, or, you know, I don't know yet, but I know I'm definitely going to try and get the mower under there the best I can to get all those weeds and stuff out of there, so I can work under there just a little easier. If it wasn't as windy as it was and I could actually do it, I would go get the aerosol can and a lighter and just get them that way. I can always just get them with some carb cleaner or something. That usually makes them spaz out, and then they just fall off their webs and onto the ground, and then you can kill them. So there's the tarp. It's kind of windy outside, so I rolled the rider onto it so it won't blow away. And took my beater pull-on lawnmower, went through and got all the grass, everything that I could reach anyways. Those of you who haven't seen this truck, this is pretty much the state of it. This thing had about 300,000 miles on it when my brother wrecked it, and he totaled the living shit out of it. I have a separate video on this truck, but the frame is bent. The motor cradle has been shifted. I'm pretty sure that the transmission is fine. My dad had just had the transmission rebuilt for him. And I know the clutch doesn't feel like it's working. It does seem to go into all the gears fine. It doesn't seem like it's locked out of anything. But I remember when we first brought this thing here, there was just no action out of the clutch. I didn't feel any clutch pressure or anything. And it's a hydraulic clutch as well. So, you know, I don't know what happened there. I'm sure once I get to the point where I do pull the transmission out of this thing, we'll have a better idea. Got the bed off right over here, as you guys can see. And then this is the exhaust that I'm going to take off. But I think that unbolts from up front somewhere forward to this cross member here, where the cat is. And it shouldn't be too hard to get in there, I don't think. But as I was saying earlier, I'm not worried about pulling a transmission. That doesn't really frighten me. What frightens me more, much more, is how many Black Widows are going to be under this thing. And here, in order to remove the transmission, plus there's spider webs all over the place in here, and I'm going to take this fender off as well. In order to remove the transmission, in order to get to the two top bolts, you have to remove the shifter and everything as you normally would. And once that's done, you can get to the 2 top bolts on top of the bell housing from that little hole where the shifter goes through. Well, so I've got most of the fender pulled off. Go ahead and get you guys a perch for you. So you guys can watch me do this, I guess. That was the last one. So, this can now go in the back of the trailer. So in the midst of all this, I was able to confirm a few things. Main part is the air hose reaches to the truck. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I just went ahead and removed the bolts from the rear end. And there's that. All else fails, just get a bigger hammer. I didn't even bother getting a claw hammer. And so here is a right fender. The left fender, I showed you guys this in the back of the trailer. It's all screwed up. There's actually a lot of good usable parts, believe it or not, that are still left on this thing. Even this door, you know, it's not perfect, but it's still good. That thing's messed up. That was from my old 94. I think the next step I'm going to go with now is I'm going to go ahead and pull these seats out, just because, you know, they're not really needed. They're all moldy. In fact, I might just load those into the back of the van and drop those off in front of the house, to be honest. They are filthy and destroyed, and nobody's going to want these. But anyways, there's a fender liner for that right side. Oh, it's an end of a legacy, boys. I had many good memories with this truck. If you go back to my earliest videos, you can see, you know, this truck in all its glory, former glory. I didn't really showcase it all that much, but there is a few videos where it's shown in. And man, I had a lot of good memories with this thing. I think I drove it for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. And then I ended up passing it down to my brother. When I gave it to him, it had like 230,000 miles on it, something like that. And he continued to drive it all the way up until about a couple years ago, 2014. So when I gave it to him, I want to say that was like 2010. Yeah, it was 2010, because that was when I bought that white Focus that I had. So he had this truck for 4 years, and I think it's been sitting out here for about 2. And so he put another 50,000, 60,000 miles onto it. So it probably had just over 300,000 on it by the time he wrecked it. And yeah, like I was saying, my dad had just put that new rebuilt the transmission. But the motor itself was fine. Never had the head gasket issues or anything. The reason for that is I think these Vulcans they put in the Rangers, they got a different kind of water pump. The ones that the Taurus has got had plastic impellers. And I believe, if I remember correctly, these Vulcans that they put in the Rangers had metal ones. So what happens with the Taurus is over time those impellers just erode and wear out. And so gradually it loses its pumping efficiency, and it can't circulate the coolant as it normally should. So the car just starts running hotter and hotter and hotter, and over time it just blows the head gaskets. And of course it'll start overheating and, you know, all this other stuff. But that was the main problem with the Taurus Vulcans, is they had those shitty water pumps put into them. The motors are actually decent, but that's why they had so many head gasket problems in the Tauruses, was because of that. But anyways, so now I'm at the point where it's really kind of just the home stretch as far as prepping this thing goes. I'm going to go ahead and pull these seats out, and I'm sure I'm going to find some black widows and other critters possibly under these. I'll end up pulling both the doors off. I think this door is actually good too, now that I think about it. Yeah, this door is still good. Needs to be lined up, of course, well, whoever buys it, but yeah, this door should go to a new home too, actually. You know, maybe I'll just do it that way. Maybe I'll just pull off everything that's still usable on this and, you know, part out what I need to and then just scrap the rest. The rear end is still good. Probably keep that. Not for myself, but I'll sell it. Kind of sucks having to go through and do all this though, boys. I was really attached to this truck. In all honesty, I probably should never have, I probably should have just drove it until it quit on me. But hindsight is always 20/20. Well, so I'm about to load those into the back of the van. A couple other things. But this is about where I'm at. I've already encountered a Black Widow. Got the shifter off, the boot, and all that good stuff. And the Black Widow, I saw right in there. And I shot the shit out of him with some carb cleaner. Don't know if it did anything, but she's gone now. Oh, there she is. You see her? You see her? Look at that bitch. Hey, fucker. Oh, I hate these things with a burning passion, boys. Look at her. Piece of shit. Fuck you. Probably dead now. Oh, it's an uphill battle with these things, and I knew they were going to be on top of this damn bell housing. I fucking knew that. And there's 2 bolts that go up to the top of the bell housing that I have to get through here. It looks a lot harder than I think it is because it's going to be an extension job, and when I get the extension going through, I think it's right up there. Can't really see it too well, but I'm going to have somebody probably sit here or sit underneath and kind of guide me, because I don't think you can get to them from the sides. I think what I was reading online, people were just able to get to it through up here, so, you know. See if her little friend's dead. She is. She's dead as fuck. Immaturities aside. That's about where I'm sitting with this thing right now. You guys saw I got the rear part of the driveline removed, and yeah, it looks like the transmission got away scot-free. I don't think the motor did. I don't even think I'm going to worry about trying to rip the motor out of this thing, but you know, it is what it is. My dad said that he didn't want me to get under this thing when he's not here, which I kind of understand that because it's sitting on, well, it's not going to slide off the rear end, but the front end's sitting on railroad ties. And I don't think that they'll slide off or anything like that. Up here, they're kind of just sitting on the underside of the wishbone suspension. And, I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but my dad's got a point. It's better to be safe than sorry, so I was going to get under there and remove the cross member and the front part of the driveline. So I might just wait until my dad gets back for me to do that and mess with that a little bit. But then it might be too dark by then, so. But I'm kind of happy with how far I've gotten today. I've only spent about an hour or so, 2 hours, just tearing into this thing and ripping things off, making it a little bit easier for whenever I do rip this transmission out. So yeah, I was telling you guys that eventually I'll get another Ranger, and if I can find one with a bad manual transmission and I can get it for cheap, well, that's going to be perfect. Then I'll have a manual Ranger again. And this transmission they used from 1992 until 2011. So technically I could find just about any year Ranger as long as it's above 92. They quit making them in 2011. And the transmission should fit on it just fine based on everything that I've read. The 4-liter had a more heavy-duty one, but that was, I think, 04, 05. Can't remember offhand. So it'll be nice to have a spare manual transmission available if and when I do get another Ranger. It'll happen. You guys know it. You guys know me. It'll happen. So, anyways, I think that's about it for this video. I'm just going to leave my tools out here. I'm probably going to be out here later, so just talking to my dad about everything. But go ahead and cut this video off now. Sad to see this thing go, but hopefully the next part of this video you guys will see me removing and dropping a transmission if it works out. So you guys all stay classy.